The football team used to have a football camp for kids, and our kids would always go to that. You know, all their friends went, and it was just a great time for our kids to enjoy.
Just a good community thing
students,
for them to go to. That was when we really probably got more active in the athletic side. And we would occasionally go to a basketball game or something like that, or a baseball game, but that kind of got it started. And then fast forward to, I guess, 4 years ago now, when we met Connor.
So I met the Moss family when I was a freshman here at Elon. It was the summer after my freshman year, and went through a tough time where I had, my cousin was killed, and was kind of like, you know, I was very lost, I guess you could say.
During that time, we got to talk about a lot of things. We got to talk about our faith, we got to talk about our experiences in life. This was less than a year after my mother had passed away from cancer. So losing someone that was very near and dear to my heart and close to me and a role model in my life, I was able to maybe parallel some of those feelings and emotions with Connor.
You know, it's one of the things that I'm most thankful for in my time here at Elon, but you know, it's been crazy how something so beautiful and so rewarding for me could come through, you know, something so terrible.
When they run out on the field, he'll usually run like all the way down to the end zone where we sit, and he'll look up in the crowd and he'll point at me, and then we'll kind of do like our handshake from a distance.
The first time I met the Mosses was very early on in college, and Connor Christensen, obviously, he kind of introduced most of us to that family, and he just kind of told me, hey, this family's really good people, great food's gonna be there, and good conversation.
He's allowed to come down with the heat and cream. Why don't you have Ollie throw you?
He's way cool. Yeah, he can throw me higher. He's way cool.
I don't think so.
If I go in, you are going with me, and if you think I can't pull you in, hey, you go first. If I go in, you're going in. No!
Rolling with my dog, Hunter and Hudson. Yeah, we're so hot. Burn you like a Bunsen burner, see? Bars! That was bars, boy!
Why aren't those swimming still?
You know how cool my hair looks? Round two, let's go! No.
Yeah!
It all started through, you know, the relationship that we had developed with Connor that grew into, we had this huge group of kids. Most of them call me Mama Moss. If all they did was come out here and sit on the couch and watch TV, or if they just needed a quiet place to study and get away. I remember one night we were at a football game, and Connor called and said that he and Oli, there was a lot going on, and they needed to study and they needed quiet, and so we came home and they were in the kitchen and in here in the den studying by themselves. That was the first
So one night I went to watch one of Connor's practices, and after practice we stayed on the practice field and we played like a little game of football. Me and Connor were on one team, which was way unfair because we're obviously the best football players ever.
No, because y'all couldn't catch Cat. Cat was too fast.
We were obviously the best football players ever to live. And then me and Connor were just out there demolishing them, breaking ankles and stuff, and we just like totally wrecked them.
You know, through that group, we kind of tried to be there for them when they needed something. And there was a particular, I'm pretty sure it was a Tuesday afternoon, and Bruno had called. I could tell something was wrong. And I said, you know, Bruno, are you okay, buddy? And he just said, no, I'm not. And they had found out at that practice that Dimitri Allison had passed away.
We started getting phone calls from like Connor and Ole, and it was Miles Williams,
Right.
and we started getting phone calls.
Sonny.
Sonny, and they were all just like in shock, and they were hurting, and so we were like, you know what, come here, come to the house, and you know, come here, and we will get together and just grieve, do whatever you needed to do.
For them to just come and be able to talk. By the time we got here, I think there were probably 6 or 8 guys already here. Mm-hmm. And it was just a tough time. I mean, that group of guys, we see them go through the highs and lows. We see the great times when they win, the triple overtime victory where Connor threw a touchdown at Garner Webb to win the game.
That team was on such an emotional high that night.
To go from that to sitting around in a room talking about losing a teammate in a tragic way. Some of the players' parents that we had met heard about it and were calling Susan saying, have you talked to the boys and all? And Susan said, look, they're all over here together and they're okay. They're here with us. And that meant a lot to the parents, and the fact that we were able to be there meant the world to us.
Everybody that knows us knows the boys. They know Connor and Ole and Miles when he was here, and Corey, and Tyler. They know all those guys, and Greg. And so when they come up to us and like people will say to us, like, you know, what a blessing we have been to those kids. And I'm like, oh no, you have that all wrong. They have been a blessing to us.
To watch those guys go through losing and not ever lose their confidence in themselves and in what they were working towards, and to go out there and see them practice hard day in and day out, play hard every week in and week out, and not give up, not get discouraged, but go out and give their best and keep a positive attitude about it the whole time they were doing it. I don't think you could you could lay out a better roadmap for our boys than to see that in person.
Some of the best things in life you kind of don't expect. Some of the best relationships or experiences you might have you don't see coming, and I definitely think they are one of those. And just being close to them it's a very powerful thing. And also kind of embody everything that the Elon community is, which is love, caring, and acceptance.
Even though, you know, we just met each other 4 years ago, it's something that, you know, it's been very cool to see the progression of it, and it's something that I don't think I would trade for the world.